has been a rainy day. Are you bored, or has the weather kept you indoors? Well, not to worry, because you have lined up interesting stories that will bring a spark to your living room. We have a potpourri of stories that we have lined up for you tonight on Sunday Rendezvous, and it is a must-watch if you ask me. So I urge you to get yourself a cup of hot tea or your choice drink and draw closer to your television while we dish out our content. Good evening and welcome, and I'm glad you could join us. Do not forget that you can watch us live on our YouTube channel at NTA Enugu. And we begin with the hard news segment. Governor Peter Mba has urged journalists to desist from amplifying fake news capable of undermining the state government's efforts at enthroning peace, security, and economic growth. Chika Ugu reports that the governor gave the advice while interacting with journalists in the state.
Hell-bent on his vision of growing the state's economy to an enviable height, Governor Peter Mba noted that to achieve this lofty vision for Enugu State, security of lives and property is paramount. To this end, he called on journalists in the state to partner with the state government to bring to fruition the vision of eradicating poverty, growing the economy through private sector investment, and ensuring peace of residents of the state.
We're going to make Enugu State the premier destination for investment. We know that what is going to enhance our earning power, increase our earnings, eradicate poverty is this private sector investment. And one of the things or the risks that private sector does not want to accommodate is security.
This, he said, can be achieved if journalists are free and fair with their reportage, avoid disseminating fake news, and avoid publicizing activities of hoodlums, especially those projecting the unlawful sit-at-home order.
People thrive on this fear that is still in us. And because they've also noticed that once they magnify this through the social media and through the different platforms that they have access to, that it would achieve the intended outcome, they continue to benefit from that fear.
Members of the press asked questions bordering on security issues and the state government's stand and efforts to forestall insecurity. Reacting to the questions, Governor Peter Mba, without missing words, assured them that the state government has put various measures in place and is working in tandem with security agents to sustain and foster peace as well as security in the state. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
The Enugu State Police Command says the command crushed a gang of gunmen who attempted to enforce an illegal sit-at-home in Enugu last Friday. In a statement, the police public relations officer of the command, DSP Daniel Ndukwe, said that a further manhunt by a combined team of tactical police operatives of the command after an early morning clash with the gunmen that day led to the recovery of the lifeless bodies of the 4 of the hoodlums in a forest at Okunano, Enugu, where they were escaped into. Recall that the police had last Friday reported that operatives of the command intercepted the criminals at one day in Okunano, Enugu, as they tried to snatch an Enugu State Transport Company Entraco branded Sharon minivan from its driver at gunpoint for their operation. They had, however, engaged the operatives in a gun duel, but escaped with varying degrees of fatal gunshot wounds due to the superior power of the operatives, leaving behind one AK-47 rifle with a magazine loaded with 19 live ammunition of 7.62 calibers, 2 bottles of petrol bomb, and other incriminatory materials. Meanwhile, the Enugu State Commissioner of Police, CP Ahmed Amani, has once again reassured that the police and other security forces in the state shall not rest in its fight against crime and criminality, calling on residents to go about their lawful businesses. And Governor Peter Mba has reiterated his administration's commitment to invest in agriculture and help small and medium-scale businesses in the state to grow. Chika Ugu reports that the Enugu State Governor was speaking when a team from the Agro-Processing Productivity Enhancement and Livelihoods Improvement Support Appeals Project paid him a courtesy visit at the government house in Enugu.
Describing Enugu State as a hospitable and cosmopolitan state, Governor Peter Mba was not dismayed that the state was chosen among the 6 states for the World Bank, federal government, and agro-processing productivity enhancement and livelihood improvement support appeals projects. Appreciating the project team for proper management of the project, the governor promised that his administration would build on it to improve agriculture. The $3 million which the World Bank promised to release, he said, will be properly utilized to fund access roads to farmlands, provide farmlands, and sustain the project.
We're looking at scaling up our production at the state level, our own level. We're looking at having a special allied processing zone, and to make sure that we increase our production.
National Project Coordinator Appeals explained that their visit to Enugu is to assess the level of implementation and achievement since the project is gradually coming to an end.
Ours is to build the capacities of farmers through different trainings. We also empower them to support whatever enterprises and business they are doing in agriculture, right from production, processing to marketing.
The project, which started in 2017 and will end in September 30, 2023, has different components which includes productivity enhancement support, empowerment of women and youths, how to get investors plan, and post-management, among others. In Enugu, Chika Ubu, NTA.
The Abia State Governor Alex Oti has inaugurated the State Executive Council made up of 19 members who were recently appointed and screened by the State House of Assembly. Ifoma Ndokole reports.
The new commissioners were led on an oath of office and allegiance by the Solicitor General of the state. Governor Alex Oti, while emphasizing that building a new Abia is the key vision of his administration, charged the newly inaugurated commissioners to bring in their wealth of experiences in the discharge of their duties, adding that there will be zero tolerance for corruption.
The privilege of your appointment will never be seen as an opportunity for self-enrichment or advancement of unwholesome interests. I can assure you that there will be zero tolerance for all those. There will also be zero tolerance for corruption and personal enrichment.
Responding on behalf of others, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Ikechukwu Owana, thanked the governor for the opportunity given to them to serve and promised that they will discharge their duties to the best of their abilities.
We are aware that the responsibilities will be tough. We are aware that the expectations are very high. We are aware that people are watching us. Your Excellency, we pledge our commitment that we will put in our very best to discharge this solemn responsibility. 3 out of the 19 commissioners yet to be cleared by the State House of Assembly would be sworn in later. In Umuahia, Ifoma Ndu Okoli, NTA News.
Sequel to the report by the Committee of Inquiry set up by the Anambra State government as demanded by some Nigerians to look into the case of Ms. Mesoma Ejikeme, the girl who manipulated her JAMB result, the report has vindicated JAMB. A statement signed by the board's head of public affairs and protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, says the incident has further reinforced the position of the board that its system was not and cannot be compromised, adding that the board has built a reputation in terms of conduct of credible examinations over the years and cannot afford to fail the nation at this critical juncture of its development. The board further appeals to well-meaning Nigerians who may wish to support and encourage healthy competition by awarding scholarships and other honors to deserving candidates, not to be discouraged, but always verify from the board any claim, no matter how innocuous, but put forward by candidates. The board also set the age of the candidate, right, as available data gives her age as 19 against 16 years old. JAMB commends Anambra State government for its patriotism and unbiased position through the national challenging period, and congratulates the Anambra State-born Ms. Kamsiyochukwu Nkechinyere Ume, who is actually the highest scorer in the 2023 UTME exercise. And we'll take a breather here. Sunday Rendezvous. We'll be right back. Please stay. Welcome back. The father of the 19-year-old Mmesoma Ejikeme has apologized to the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, and all Nigerians for his daughter's falsification of her UTME results, which he said she lied to him. Chinyere Fesi Okoye also reports that with this latest development, the sum of 3 million naira scholarship offered her by an Nnewi businessman has been withdrawn.
Upon arrival at the residential home of Mr. Romanus Ejikeme, father of Mmesoma Ejikeme, Mmesoma saw us and took to her heels, but we were able to get the reaction of the father.
I don't expect that she will do this kind of thing. She did what she's supposed to do. Are you getting me? She's brilliant enough to avoid this kind of thing. And I'm still apologizing to the whole Nigerians and JAMB to pardon.
Efforts to get reaction of any member of the panel of inquiry set up by the Anambra State government and the school authority at the time of filing this report did not yield positive results, but some concerned citizens speak.
Generally, I see it as a reflection of the level of moral and social decadence. If she knew that she was to be punished accordingly, I think that she wouldn't have been tempted, encouraged to get into that. 2 or 3 ladies or one lady who has a human heart can take her in and discover how. You need to unearth how. Because if she's a teenager and an adult is somewhere deceiving her, planting all those rubbish in her, the rot should have fallen on that person, not Mmesoma. How can she manipulate JAMB website in her phone and she was unable to show you how she manipulated it? The first mission is to show us how you did that.
Meanwhile, Nnewi-based businessman who earlier awarded 3 million naira scholarship to Mmesoma in a press statement says the scholarship has been withdrawn following the UTME score manipulation.
I think parents really need to look into what their children are doing. A Nigerian chef who is an indigene of Ile Oluji in Okibo local government area of Ondo State, Adeola Adeyeye, who is aiming to surpass the current Cookathon Guinness World Record holder Hilda Bachi, has officially ended her 150 hours marathon cooking with an extension of extra 2 hours to make it a total of 152 hours. Toyin Batire reports.
Adeola Adeyeye started the cooking marathon on Friday, June 30, with the hope of finishing at 150 hours. But with her resilience and determination to break the Guinness World Record, set her own record and break a new record, she ended up adding extra 2 hours before giving up at 3 in the early hours of Friday. The chef, who revealed through her manager that the Guinness World Records authorized her to proceed with the record attempt after thorough review and assessment, is hopeful of being recognized.
She told us that she loves to do more. She loves to add more hours to what she wanted to do, which is the 150 that I was supposed to earn. And because of that, because it's something she's passionate about, we can't stop her from doing more. So We have to encourage them.
It is expected that Adeola Adeyeye submits her cooking evidence to the Guinness World Records, and if certified accurate, she will become the new record holder.
Everyone wants to break a record. Well, we wish her well as she awaits response from the Guinness World Records. Now, bedwetting is one of the stages experienced in the life of many children, a night dream coming to reality that is seen by every parent as normal, and some use the hilarious experience for rib-cracking jokes with friends at adulthood. However, a 6-year-old boy, Umar Jibril, could not live longer to enjoy narrating his own part of this experience, as his life was cut short as he was allegedly murdered by his own biological father just because he bedwetted. Pauline Kuje Vanna was at Wulari area of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, and brought back this report.
The 6-year-old Umar, whose mother was divorced by the father at the age of 4 and got married to another wife, was alleged to have suffered maltreatment before his death. Umar and his twin brother Hussaini suffered, as some neighbors who spoke off camera confirmed to NTA News that the boys beg to eat and are usually denied water by their parents once it is 6 p.m. as part of measures to prevent the bedwetting. On that fateful day, it was Umar that bedwetted the mat after confirmation by his stepmother and reported to the father, who in response decided to beat up the boy. As if that was not enough, he struck the boy against wall, which led to severe bleeding and eventual death.
When I went there, I saw the boy in his bleeding from his nose and eye and mouth. I asked his senior brother how this thing happened. He said he beat the sons, and then later on the son he said that, but Daddy, I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do his net on his bed. He pushed the can, and then he take the son and kick it in the sand on the ground and kick it and dash him in the wall.
Elder brother of Umar's father, who returned home and found the boy in the pool of his blood, involved neighbors and the community head known as Bulama, who had forewarned him on the constant beating of the twins.
After killing his son, he took the boy with my stepmom to the hospital for a cover-up report, which he was not given, and his wife wanted to sweep away the evidence. Then I refused and reported the case.
Umar's father, Jibril Mohammed, a driver with the Federal Fire Service, attributed his anger and action to the work of the devil and pleaded for forgiveness.
Wallahi ban san haka zai faru ba mama, dan Allah ku rufa mu asiri na kamar yadda Allah ya rufa muku, ku taimaka mu in akwai dalili, in akwai hanya ku nema mun mafita.
The suspect has since been remanded in police custody as human rights actors vowed to follow up the case until justice prevails.
He has committed an act and it's a criminal offense for killing your own son just because the child urinates. And from what we heard from his elder brother, that he urinates till the age of 13.
There was a time he used a hot knife and put it on the penis of the child, which is wrong. Because you're a father, you think you can kill your child or you can torture your child and then you go scot-free. Let the law take its position on this so that it will be a deterrent to others.
It is important to know that most children outgrow bedwetting on their own, sometimes before the age of 10, while some need a little help to overcome the childhood challenge, which is seen as part of normal development among children.
Wonder the shade shall never end. You can imagine a father doing that to his son. Oftentimes, people and governments speak in condemnation of crimes in the society, yet these crimes are still being committed, and one of such crimes is jungle justice. Recently, in a community known as Old Netim in Akampa local government area of Cross River State, some youths of the community accused the mother of 4 of witchcraft and burnt her to death. Our correspondent, Leo Ajom, visited that community and brought back this story.
Martina Itagbo, a mother of 4, is said to have been accused of witchcraft following the death of 2 brothers in an auto crash. It was on the heels of the accusation that she was beaten and her fingers chopped off after which she was set ablaze by some irate youths of the community of Old Netham in Akankwa local government area of Cross River State, suspected to be cultists. Investigation reveals that Madam Itagbo was in her son's in-law house where she visited to receive medication over an injury incurred in her farm, and on that fateful day, shortly after her two daughters had left for 6 a.m. mass, the irate youths, suspected to be cultists, invaded the premises and carried out the act against humanity. It was also gathered that efforts made by her son-in-law and others to arrest the situation was abortive, as the village chief and others concerned were said to be insensitive, allowing the cruelty to be carried out. NTA News crew visited the community. The major stakeholders, including the village chief and other community leaders, could not be reached. However, the children of Madam Martina are hopeful that justice will be served.
Let them arrest them. If they arrest them, what they did to my mother, they should do the same thing to them.
We are appealing to the government and the federation to assist us, since we don't have anybody in the high places to fight for us, neither do we have finances to fight for our mother. We can't fight, but with the help of the government, I think everything will be fine. They should help us and fight for our justice.
The Cross River State Governor, Senator Basi Otu, has already ordered the law enforcement agency to arrest and ensure that the perpetrators face full wrath of the law.
What has happened at New Netim in Akankwa is alien to Cross River State, just like His Excellency Senator Basi Edward Otu has said. That is why he instructed or directed the State Commissioner of Police to go after those that were allegedly behind this dastardly act. The Cross River State government is particularly pleased that the police have made tremendous gains by the arrest of 26 individuals. The government is committed to seeing that anyone that is found culpable will pay dearly for it. And it is a note of warning to all those that may be imagining that they could simply take the laws into their hands. It is not permitted.
26 persons has been arrested in connection with the crime. They are writers with us here in State CID. The Commissioner of Police have ordered district investigation on the matter. So with the help of these suspects, we'll get to others, main prime suspects in the case. So there's no cause for alarm. We are on it. Very soon the world will hear the outcome of the investigation.
It would be recalled that a few years ago, after the death of a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Daniel Omonga, and others in a ghastly auto crash, these same youths killed 4 chiefs in the community and burnt houses and property worth millions of naira. The youths alleged that the 4 chiefs who were murdered were wizards, and reports has it that nothing happened to any of these youths, and one could say this has emboldened them to continue with their barbarism.
People should not take laws into their hands. I hope the perpetrators of this barbaric act will be brought to book. We are at the point where we will call it a day on this week's edition of Sunday Rendezvous. We thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you so much for your time. Good night and God bless.